everyone, I'm Courtney Herring and I'm a therapist here at Worcester Youth and Family Counseling Services. Today I'm going to continue on with our discussion about different types of emotions, and I'm going to be focusing on anger today. So anger is what's considered to be a secondary emotion, and what this means is a lot of times people communicate anger very easily. When somebody's yelling, when somebody's making a really big scene, and you see somebody being angry, that's very easily communicated. People understand that very well. But sometimes we're communicating anger when there's sometimes some other feelings happening. So the best way to do this, to explain this, is by using a metaphor. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm a huge metaphor fan. So anger is kind of like our iceberg. So what happens is, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing these really big reactions, really angry, and people are like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But under the surface might be some vulnerable feelings that people aren't so comfortable sharing, such as embarrassment. So an example of how this can kind of come into play is if you're walking and you trip down a hallway and there's a whole bunch of people around, right? And they all start laughing. That's really embarrassing. But sometimes people don't know how to communicate that they're embarrassed. There's some shame happening. So they get up and they're just yelling at people to look away, and it's not a big deal. And it makes this really big scene. So everybody's saying that they're angry, but that doesn't really make sense. You fell and you're angry about it. So a lot of times that's what comes out because that's what's comfortable. But really, now that we have this big angry explosion, it's a little bit more difficult to pick up those pieces. So to help manage anger, we need to be able to identify what's happening underneath the water on our iceberg. If we're feeling embarrassed, getting up and be like, man, that was super embarrassing. Like, I know people aren't going to remember that in 5 minutes, but that was just a lot. But everybody trips. And it's normal to feel embarrassed about that. But being able to find your voice and identifying these maybe vulnerable feelings and how to cope with them actually will really, really help manage if people are struggling with anger. So hopefully next time when you catch yourself feeling a little bit angry, maybe taking a second, taking a few deep breaths, and being able to identify okay, like I'm feeling angry, but there might be a little bit something extra happening underneath the surface. Thank you.